there's so much to get to. Mike Cunha's coming up in the next segment because the Florida Panthers have brought back Tomas Nosek on a 1-year deal. And apparently there's still things happening with the Panthers. Like they perhaps are going to have a ton of money to be able to either sign more guys or make their current situation work because Matthew Tkachuk might end up having surgery on like one of the body parts that literally fell off of him in the finals run. One of the body parts. And Crowder, Cunha, he tweeted out something last night. He said, fun little debate in the sports office at CBS4. And both sides deserve an incredible amount of praise for how they built out the entire roster. But which was the better front office work? The current Panthers run or the Miami Heat big three teams?
That's easy. Panthers run.
Man.
That's easy.
84% of the vote is for the Florida Panthers run. Only 16%.
Solana moves every trade deadline for Zito. The Tkachuk, the Huberdeau, getting rid of Huberdeau, bringing in the guys, Seth Jones and Marchand at the end of this year. Like, bro, Pat Riley, I don't even know if Pat has something to do. Dwayne Wade made LeBron and Bosh come to Miami. They all took pay cuts.
That's what Clay, because I was arguing with Clay on Twitter yesterday. That's what Clay Ferrer was saying. And look, I'm not downplaying the importance of Dwayne Wade and LeBron's friendship and the fact that he convinced them to come here. For sure he did. For sure. But bro, taking all the credit away from Pat Riley for LeBron James coming to Miami, to me, is the weirdest thing that South Florida fans, sports fans, have done over the past decade. It's the weirdest thing in the world to me. Like, Pat Riley had zero to do with LeBron James coming here. Like, that take is wild to me.
No, he didn't. He worked it out. Him and Andy Ellisberg worked out the numbers and made the guys agree on it.
Okay.
But
he still had to sit down in front of LeBron James, give him a pitch, and not blow the pitch like the Chicago Bulls and the New York Knicks did and the Cleveland Cavaliers did. They blew the pitch to LeBron. And guess what pitch worked? Hey, here are my rings. Here's my very large penis, which has won me several titles throughout my career. And here is Dwayne Wade, who I drafted in 2003. And I came from up in the executive suite down here, fired Stan Van Gundy, made him a champion. And I'll do the exact same thing to you, LeBron James, the chosen one. Pat Riley. Are people forgetting this for a second?
One of the most best executives in NBA history.
It's not an indictment to what the Panthers are doing. I get it. We're all jacked up on the Panthers right now. We're loving what they've done, and it should be that way. We should all be living in the moment and appreciating it. And then to re-sign Marchand and Ekblad, like we are riding a Zito high. I don't want to come down from it. I'm not ripping anything from the Panthers' perspective. It is out of this world extraordinary. Some of the best executive work, and the fact that he didn't win Executive of the Year any of the last 3 years is a joke. Crowder, Pat Riley got the best or the second best player of all time. I know you and
I'm a Jordan guy.
Are Jordan guys. That's fine. Also, I'll say he got the second best player in the history of the game to leave the city he's from or the state he's from, his hometown team, in the middle of his prime or as he entered his prime, and to come to Miami. If that is not the greatest single acquisition in the history of sports, tell me what's better than that. I don't know. I don't think there is one better than that. He got the second greatest player in the history of the National Basketball Association to leave his hometown team as he's entering his prime, become a villain. That's the greatest acquisition ever. Ever.
The way you paint this is very interesting.
We'll talk.
The way you paint, let me, because I got a lot of answers to what you just said.
Okay. We'll revisit and we'll talk with Cunha about it in the next segment, because I get it, man. Everybody's riding the Zito high, and I'm not trying to ruin the party. I'm not. But here, I'm standing in the corner with a Heat jersey on, and I'm just saying, hey, Ray Allen, Riley convinced Ray Allen to leave the big three Celtics. Oh, no, he's not doing what Zito did. I think he did. Oh, and Shane Battier, who hit 5 threes or 6 threes in a pretty important Game 7 against the San Antonio Spurs. Chris Birdman Anderson, like there were some pretty big names also acquired by the Miami Heat during that big 3 run, and nobody wants to remember it because everybody's upset with Pat Riley, and that's fine.
We're not upset with him, Solana. And this is, you said it, LeBron camp and there's Jordan camps. We're arguing, and I'll even give it to Pat. Pat's been doing this thing for a long time. Bill Zito's the young pup. He's the young dude coming in and showing out. So Pat's been doing this for decades. So Pat has the longevity. We're arguing Jordan LeBron right now, what they've done, because Pat has 3, Zito has 2, speaking of championships. So we're arguing that. But for you to say Pat bringing LeBron here and all that little monologue you just had, we got to circle back around to that because your ass is crazy.
All right.
I ain't see Pat on the banana boat. Where was Pat on the banana boat? Did they have 5 people, 6 people? Where was Pat?
Pat Riley paid for the banana boat. He paid for it. Somebody texted in, I know this isn't recent, but the best acquisition in the history of sports was the Yankees getting Babe Ruth from the Red Sox for $100,000. Get out of here. Matt Mervis is better than Babe Ruth, sir. Matt Mervis is a better baseball player than Babe Ruth. Get out of here.
Babe Ruth.
I just know Hawk is listening. I knew that would make him happy. Mike, where do you want to start? Because we earlier in the show, Crowder and I debated a question you tweeted out about, which front office run had been better, the big 3 Heat or what the Panthers are doing right now, and it's not even over. Like Nosek is back. I know the Panthers made a signing a little while ago as well. Jeff Petrie is coming to the Panthers for under $1 million also. So like Zito doesn't stop working. He's still working. But the Dolphins made a trade, and just in general, Zito pulling off the hat trick yesterday. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with that debate, because I think a lot of people, and maybe rightfully so, and I do lean the Panthers' way on this in terms of which front office work was better, whether it's Big 3 or this current Panthers run. I spent a lot of time in the sports office defending what the Heat did during that Big 3 era, because they still had to outfit that roster with other guys who were going to make all of that work. It was very tough. You had to convince a Chris Bosh to change the style he played. But the reason why I'll lean the Panthers is because the championship window to me is greater with the Panthers than it was with the Heat. I think we all knew in our heart of hearts that LeBron wasn't going to be in a Miami Heat uniform for a very long time, right? Always felt like a rental, that he would be here with Dwayne Wade and CB for a couple of years, and at some point he'd eventually maybe move on. At least that's the way I felt. I never thought he would be a Miami Heat lifer, so to speak. So when I look at and I compare the two, they both have 2 championships back to back, but I think that the championship window for the Panthers is wider, and that's why I lean that way.
But Mike, my argument, Mike, is that what they're doing with Marchand bringing him in, even the Seth Jones, and then getting rid of Huberdeau for Kachuk, like the movement. You have Bosh, Wade, and LeBron. You could put a hand sanitizer, some nail clippers, and a 3-ring notebook next to them, and they'll be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, Zito is really making moves, getting 4 lines deep, where I'm not taking anything. Pat Riley, he's done it for decades. Zito's done it for about 5 years. But that's why I put them over the top, because it's so many moves that are working out where you just had 3 stars with the Heat.
Yeah, and I totally get that. And what the Panthers have done, it's really interesting. Like, I'm not trying to take away from any of what their stars do, but there's like the Connor McDavid. That's like the class of his own. Yet somehow, if you go to like a tier below, you've got a number of those guys on the Panthers roster. And to me, that's so impressive that you were able to find like the 2014 draft. The top 4 picks were Aaron Ekblad, Sam Reinhart, Sam Bennett, and Leon Draisaitl. Can't remember the exact order, but obviously Ekblad was 1. You have 3 of those 4 guys from the top of that draft on this roster. So the level of player that level of player would make any franchise excited, and they've got 3 from 1 draft class there. Barkov, maybe just a tier above those guys. Verhaeghe, you mix him in there. Like, it is very impressive the level of player that they've gotten to accept long-term deals here.
That picture that the Panthers keep posting, by the way, of all three of those guys, Reinhart, Ekblad, and who am I missing?
Bennett.
And Bennett, yeah. I don't know if you've seen this picture, Crowder, but when they were drafted together, they were all, where were they, Mike? Like DC or somewhere?
They were in Philadelphia. We actually did a story on this when we were in Edmonton during the finals, and they were all saying that they were texting each other, even Leon Draisaitl, because they're all friends because they've known each other since they were kids, and making fun of each other for, you know, the amount of hair or lack of hair they have now, or the shoes or the style.
Well, Cunha, you can't tell.
Making its rounds.
Yeah, you see that picture, you can't tell if those are, like, if I told you, hey, those are the top 5 picks, the top 4 picks in the NHL draft, you wouldn't believe me. But Crowder, if I told you, hey, those are the top 4 chess players in the world, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But here's Cunha, here's where I differ in this argument. I want to move on anyways, because I understand everybody's riding the Zito wave right now, and I understand it. The Panthers are winning. We're all absolutely jacked up. He pulled off the unthinkable yesterday with Marchie and with Ekblad and with Bennett coming back. And what he's built is insane. It doesn't happen in hockey. Like, we're living a dream. That's true. But Pat Riley got Connor McDavid. Yeah. He got Connor McDavid in his prime. And that doesn't happen in sports. The likes of LeBron, the likes of Connor McDavid don't leave their teams as they're entering their prime in free agency. It had never happened before. Now, I mean, anything can happen, right? Like, we're expecting Giannis to be gone by 6 p.m. tonight, but it didn't happen in 2010. Like, Jordan wouldn't have left Chicago. You know, like, that just didn't happen. Right. Pat Riley, whether people want to say it was Dwayne Wade, not Pat Riley, fine. But fine. But guess what? The general manager still gets credit for it at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And Zito's the one saying, I'm not doing anything. It's all these guys. They're all good friends. They're all doing whatever it takes to happen. Like, we're not going to take that away from Zito. He's still the one making it happen. So why are we taking the credit away from Pat Riley, who had the foresight to know, hey, 2010 is when we're going to make our move, and LeBron's going to be available. And guess what? I go after the whale. I go after LeBron. So that's my only thing, Cunha, where he got the greatest player ever, or the second greatest player ever, to leave his hometown team. And, like, that's the greatest acquisition in the history of sports, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's why I went to bat heavy for the Heat when we were having this discussion. And again, my only caveat to this is that the window for winning, I think, is greater with the Panthers than it is for the Heat. And I think, and like, you can't lose in this argument. So though, if I have to pick one, that would be my reasoning.